Welcome, everyone, to this weekly live radio show at KCRW 100.7 FM in lovely coastal Brookings, Oregon. Thank you for tuning in to this week's exciting and fun program of Doc and Jacques. I'm Dr. Gigi, and I'm sitting alongside my co-host, San Francisco Jacques. Hello, Jacques.
Hey, Dr. Gigi, and good afternoon to our guest today and to all of you loyal and new listeners out there. Welcome to the Doc and Jacques Radio Variety Show. Today is Wednesday. It's October 9th, 2024. It's a lovely day out there. Not too hot, not muggy. Well, it's never really muggy on the coast. Not windy. Yeah, it's kind of a nice day. It's also, oh, come on. Now, did you give me this fact? It's National Moldy Cheese Day. Are you kidding me?
It is true. It's National Moldy Cheese Day, and it is also National Emergency Nurses Day.
Okay, that's right. Emergency Nurses Day. So
that one is a real good one.
Do you deal with emergency nurses all the time, right? Sort of. You have.
Well, I'm not working in the ER anymore, but they're working hard.
It's also Happy Anniversary Day. That's kind of a weird one, too. Oh, it's happy. I get it. Guess what, folks? Guess what? This is super news for everybody.
Yeah.
Our loyal listeners and all the new listeners, too. What is today date?
It's October 9th. So last year, October 10th, was our first
inaugural show.
Yeah, Doc and Jacques.
The Doc and Jacques started 1 year, so we've got 1 year under our belt.
Mm-hmm.
Special shout out to the loyal the family that supports us here and has been so nice to us. You know who you are. And then, of course, the wizards in the sound booth, Tom Bozak and Ray Simon. Thank you, guys. It's been a wonderful year.
Been a ride. Yes.
All right.
So
let's go. Where are you?
I'm going with the other listeners that you said who they are.
Yeah,
so,
who are some of them?
Okay, niece Kelly, your niece Kelly.
Hey,
Jimbo.
Yep, Jimbo and Brother John and Patty, they're listening.
Yes,
Janice. Hey, Janice and Victoria.
Dr. Sherry and Chris.
Hey, what's going on? A lot of them are listening in the Midwest.
Yes.
Rebecca, Dave Howland, and Clara.
Yeah, Lucas.
Call home. Your mom wants to know where you are.
Yeah, we have connected.
Rika and Jaden, Jared, Grant, and Vera, of course. Hey, what's going on?
Scarlett, Darwin.
Annie and John. Yeah.
Susie, my best in Utah.
And Mama.
Mama and Sam.
Yep. Hey,
we
Mama,
put
Sam,
those two together.
Richard and Nina.
Teresa and Michael.
Yeah.
Nancy, and your new friend, Anthony.
Yeah, and there are a lot of others listening out there. We really appreciate you here on the Jacques and Doc 1 year anniversary show.
It's really Doc and Jacques, but it's okay.
Did I say Jacques and Doc?
It's ladies first.
Okay.
Hello.
All right. Sorry about that.
All right. So
what do you got for us?
Let's start with the MD10, as we usually do.
Which is a weird one this week because you're not dealing with like the heart, the lungs, the pancreas.
No, we're just doing weird, fun, cool stuff that most of you actually found. Good job.
I found some of these.
Yeah, very nice.
Deep search on AI.
So listen to this. Humans shed about 600,000 skin particles every hour.
Oh, that is kind of gross.
Yeah, if you count that up, it's about 50 pounds in a lifetime.
50 pounds of shed dermis. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, really
so this is
good taste in my mouth.
This is important because we have dead skin outside, so we're not attractive to the bacteria or other things that want to infect us. They cannot bore through the skin that is dry and dead.
Ew. So
it has to be a wet, warm opening for them to go in.
Yikes. So we are constantly shedding the they're on us, right? They cling to us, but they just don't.
They can't go anywhere.
Unless
so
you
that's
possibly
why we
get a cut on your finger.
Right, they're waiting.
And they're waiting. That's why, what is it, sepsis? And what are some of the...
Well, just skin infections, cellulitis.
Green, that bacterial?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can be. Okay. Next one. Teratoma tumors.
Oh, weird ones,
can't grow their own hair and teeth.
Okay, a teratoma tumor, is it a common tumor?
Teratoma tumors are very rare, but I have seen one. It's a very rare type of tumor that can contain it. So it's a ball pretty much, and they can contain fully developed tissues and organs such as hair, teeth, muscle, bone.
Kidding me.
Often they have hair and teeth.
Are they always cancerous?
Well, there are tumor, so it's a cancer. They're usually benign, so it's a tumor more than a cancer. They are found everywhere, but most common in the tailbone, ovaries, testicles.
Oh,
They're
great.
usually made out of germ cells. So when we're first being made as an egg and a sperm, those are germ cells. And when we grow up, these cells develop onto something, but some kind of stay behind and then they want to be something else. And so they become the little teratoma tumor.
So I might have a Tommy the teratoma testicle tumor
T-tattoo.
growing within me.
Okay.
Oh, my goodness, God gracious. All right.
You probably don't.
But it's about the saliva. This is weird. This is getting...
The average human produces over 25,000 quarts of saliva in a lifetime.
Good God.
And
That's
you
enough
find
to
out
fill-
how much it
that's
is.
it. I found out 2 swimming pools worth of...
Yum, yum, yum.
You know what? Oh,
So
good God.
if people don't know what saliva is, usually they do, but it is spit or drool, and it's mostly made up of water, some electrolytes, mucus, white blood cells, but most importantly, it has enzymes in it, so stuff that starts the digestion
Oh,
process.
so it's a big on the digestion. It's
the first step of especially
first step
sugar.
of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember, why was I drooling over you when I first met you? So weird. It's like, yeah, we're on our first date and I was drooling. Okay, that really sounds...
Because I ate a candy.
And did you know that a handshake carries more germs than a kiss?
A handshake, yes. And why do you think that is?
Because wet and slimy? No. I don't know. Tell me why.
Well, because the saliva, as I said, has digestive enzymes in it. So we don't have a lot of bacteria in our mouth because our digestive enzymes
Kill it
digest,
all. They
start
kill
it,
it all.
start the
I
digestion.
see, but on our
So our
hands.
hands, we don't have a lot of spit unless you...
So maybe it's smart to lick your fingers then, but
Right.
not really.
Oh, yeah, see, that's why we lick our
Oh,
fingers after a meal.
God, I don't. I've never seen anybody... your mama, I love mama so much, but that day we served her that good food, she went at it. She liked that meal very much. And it was
Okay.
kind of quick. Okay, tell us about sleep and starvation, doctor.
Lack of sleep can kill you quicker than starvation.
Say that again.
So if you don't sleep, you die any days in a row or many days in a row, you die before you die from starvation, not eating the many days in a row.
That's what they found out down
That's
at what was that place down in where we had our prison? What's the name of that prison? Military prison we had.
Yeah.
Anybody? Okay, we don't know.
Yeah, I don't know how to
But they would
pronounce it.
keep people up for
Guantanamo Bay.
days just by moving them, shaking them, loud music,
Yeah.
bright lights, and they couldn't sleep. And guess what happened?
Yeah, they go insane first.
They go insane.
Yeah, that is pretty sad.
Yeah.
In the U.S., 2 out of 3 people have poor vision.
We're all wearing glasses in this room.
Yeah,
Lon and Juchi.
yeah.
We're all, and plus the 2 engineers.
Well,
That's
I'm
5
over
of us.
25, so hey.
Wait a minute, you told me you're 23. Okay, so we're all have 2 out of 3 Americans have poor vision. All right.
Yeah, so this is a fun one coming up. Humans share 60% of their DNA, not genes, but DNA.
Okay, we found out about genes.
bananas.
With bananas? Oh.
96% with pigs.
96% of our DNA is shared with pigs?
99% with chimps.
Whoa. So we're kind of closer about banana?
We're not closer to a banana than a chimp, but we're closer to a chimp than a pig.
Wow.
Now, but remember, not everything DNA is a gene. Only 1% of the DNA is actually gene that codes for something.
Okay, we had our DNA talk a few weeks ago,
we
I want to
did.
say. That was very
23
interesting.
and me and friends.
And what is that strongest muscle in the body?
This tongue is the strongest
Which
muscle.
is coated with saliva.
Everybody has a unique tongue print.
Wow.
Identical twins do not have the same tongue print,
In order to have
tongue
the same
twister.
fingerprints.
They also don't have the same fingerprints, but they do smell the same. We found
Yeah.
out the other day.
Right? Okay, that's another one. Identical twins smell identical.
Yeah, isn't that weird? I'm an identical twin.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go around
And-
Rika and say, hey, Rika, what's going on? Shanuli, can I smell you, please? Oh, my goodness. All right, well, thank you, doctor. That was a nice, abbreviated, different path that we followed this time.
Yeah.
Let's get right on to our guest here. Welcome, everyone. Today, Dr. Gigi and I are pleased to be speaking with no one else than Lon Goddard, a multi-talented singer, a songwriter, and guitarist who for many years has been on the periphery of our coastal consciousness, whether it's serenading the stages of local nightclubs or performing in theatrical plays or just hamming it up at the many festivals in our lovely seaside region. One thing for certain, Lon Goddard is very, very talented. He is an artist in his own unique way. And today, we're going to find out what makes this local iconic personality tick-tock, tick-tock. After we hear some of his stories and his background and present endeavors, Lon will sing some of his songs.
Woo.
These songs are more than mere entertainment. They're the poetry of our shared experiences, the soundtrack to our collective memories. And in an age of fleeting trends, Lon Goddard reminds us of that the enduring power of storytelling through song and music. So get ready to dive into the world of this classic singer, songwriter, and guitarist extraordinary. Welcome, Lon Goddard, to the Doc and Jacques Radio Variety Show.
Welcome.
Greetings. I'm so very good to be here. Yes, I understand we are having an Indian restaurant opening very soon.
Wait a minute, I thought that was Russian, but then I think it's from the Hindu. Is that there going to be an Indian restaurant opening up? No.
It's National Cut the Cheese Day.
No, moldy cheese.
Oh, I make mistake.
Ethnic problem there. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, start us off, Lon. Where were you born and raised?
Oh, well, now that's an ambiguous question. I prefer to say that I was born in the UK, but that's not actually true. I was hatched in the regrettable state of Ohio.
Well, sorry. So wait a minute. You were actually hatched there. You actually were born, but you were UK. Your parents were UK folks.
And you
My
lived
folks
in the
were
UK.
from Ohio. They grew up in an orphanage, and they married soon after they were 5 years old.
I hear in the background. I hear our engineers out there kind of chuckling. Well, cool.
Well, okay, so tell us the connection to England and the UK.
Well, the connection was made pretty much by accident. A friend of mine I went to school with, we subsequently got a flat when we graduated, and he managed to somehow rig a course in drama at Manchester University in England.
Oh, nice.
And so he just announced one day in the flat that he was leaving to go to England. And I said, "You're going to leave me alone in this flat?" He said, "Yep, I'm going." And I had nothing else to do. So I said, "Well, my folks have got $1,000 in a trust fund from an accident that I was in as a kid. If they'll release it, then I'm going too, because I got nothing better to do at all." And so we found some crazy Russian who was driving across from Sacramento to New York.
Oh.
He needed somebody to help drive and pay for gas, motels, and we headed for New York. We booked passage on the New Amsterdam, and we went to Southampton, and that's how the story began.
The rest is historical.
I was 17,
And how long did you stay?
25 years.
Dang. So you just got back last month?
Yes,
Good, but that's
I'm
my
actually only
line.
37 now.
That's my line, darn it. Okay, so you're now in England, 25 years. What year did you arrive in England?
1966.
Ooh, so Vietnam was going on. Was that a better place to be anyways? Right?
Yep, I guess I was over there while everything was going on. I wasn't even here for the Haight-Ashbury
Oh,
period in San Francisco. I missed it.
yeah.
But I was there for the swinging 60s in London.
This week it's 6
In London?
You know, Gigi worked at the hospital in Wexham, right? Or-
Yeah, just outside of London. 2011. You were already gone, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Well, you see, we got on common, don't we?
All right. So I know when we got there. So, okay, this is, I think I told that before. But anyway, so when I came to the state, when I lived in England, they said, "Where are you from?" And, I am from Germany. So I say, Germany. It's like, that was the end of it. But then I caught drift that I should say, I'm from the USA. I'm from America. And they all loved me.
Yeah,
Because
they hit Germans.
Germans, they didn't right.
I was from Germany too, but for just a little while, but not very long.
It was your time. You sound like your mama. Mama talks like that. So when did you land in Brookings?
Ooh, that will be 1992.
Wow. So
Oh,
you've
wow.
been
You've been
around
here
the
for a
block here.
while.
Yeah, that's why there's so much reference to he could. We was watching you the other night. You were talking about everybody. Some of these people that I just heard glimpses of their names, like our guy Elmo. and some people like that you were rubbing elbows with back in the day.
Elmo? Tickle Me Elmo?
No, Elmo.
No, it's the other one.
No.
Yeah, the bloke what won an Oscar, for High Noon.
Yeah, High Noon. That's right. He won an Oscar. But Elmo, what's his last name? Come on. We saw
Williams.
Williams. Elmo Williams, yes.
Yeah, you can find it on a pedestal in Azalea Park.
Yes, you can. And he built
with a nice big quote by me in bronze.
Is that really? Okay. All right. And there's also that big chapel.
I always thought to myself, I've got a headstone when I go already. It's a piece done.
Well, hello. That's our last question. We already know it. So that your headstone will say he's done or he's gone.
We don't ask a question anymore now. He's the one that answers it.
Okay.
We've always asked all of our guests, what is your tombstone going to say? But this week we
Oh, no, I got one of them too.
Okay.
Yeah, it's going to say...
you can think about it. We're not asking.
Let me think about it for a minute because I can't remember. There was nothing he couldn't do, so he didn't.
That's a good one, too.
That is a good one. Good one. It's also the Capella by the Sea. That's one thing that Elmo built for his beloved.
He did. He was a great fella.
Oh,
yeah, so
now
I
know
hear
who
he
you're
was
talking
a
about.
character. There's a lot of people listening, all the local people.
He was one of the first that I met when I got here.
Right. 292. And did you arrive with a guitar in your back pocket?
I had a guitar with me.
All right.
It was a bit larger to
Yeah, a little bit bigger.
be fitting in a pocket. But I came up here for no particular reason other than writing point for a sister of mine who'd passed through town and described it as a lovely little burg that she'd like to quit selling real estate in Los Angeles and come all the way up here with her kids and raise them in a proper little town like this one.
Wow.
You know how many people go through here and say, oh, what a nice little town.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd like to say it. So I said, well, I'll go ride point then and see what it's like, because I wasn't doing anything yet again back in the States. And
that's two stories.
I came and stayed in a Chetco Inn when it was still a lodge for a couple of weeks. She didn't come, so I got myself a flat in Old County Road, and she didn't come.
Oh, my
So
gosh.
I then fell in with a fellow who was doing a weekly TV show here on the educational channel
Cool.
called Coast Stories, which I proceeded to almost take over, which is how I met Elmo. And she didn't come. And then I did a 20-minute interview with Elmo because Coast Stories was about interesting people on the coast.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I was the interviewer, and my other half was a cameraman.
Nice.
The two of us paired up and went everywhere. And I've
How
got
fun.
tons and tons of footage. I did a 20-minute interview with Elmo out on his gazebo at his home, and I've still got that.
see.
And that's how I met him. And my sister never came.
She never came. She ended up never coming up here. Well,
I saw his house. Somebody pointed out where his house was. It's not been sold many years, but it was perched out right over that cliff, right?
Yep.
Part of it's...
It was a gorgeous place, many a party in there. And Elmo was a splendid cook, so he just provided for everybody all the time.
a real character, too, and his costumes and his dress. And
Yeah.
his
And a terrific speaker.
Wow. How cool is that? Oh, well, you missed that. That part of the legend. But you were here in 92. It is now 2024. You still like it as much as you did?
Well, that's an unfair question.
We're
you might as well say, do you like the world as well as you used to?
Yes and no. You're right. That is kind of...
all right. So tell us, have you always been into music and the music business? Is that what you have done all your life? Music? Hey, can't hear me.
We're running into some technical issues here. Our guest is not hearing doctors. Say something.
No,
Gigi,
well,
start.
can you hear? Did you? Okay, my question was, have you always done music or have you spread away somewhere?
Well, since I was probably about 10, when my parents forced me to take steel guitar lessons.
Forced you.
Well, they obliged me to do it. I wasn't that fond of the idea to have a guitar sitting on your lap.
But it's usually a piano they force you into.
Yeah.
So a good.
Now, this fellow came to the door. He was a music teacher. He was flogging his courses, and steel guitar was one of the main things he was pitching. And so I got into that. I was stuck with that for 6 years.
Wow. So you learned slowly.
I learned how to play a guitar in your lap in an open tuning.
Okay.
And so that was at age 10 and you have never veered off. That was your
Well, I
life.
immediately decided that when rock and roll came in, that I needed to get off this open tuning thing in my lap. And so I got the stamp books from my mother. I think they were blue chip stamps.
Blue chip, green, yeah.
And green, and the Green Shield, what the other ones were.
What was the other one?
But at any rate, she allowed me to take her books of stamps and buy a guitar, which I did. And it has no brand on it, but nonetheless, I did Guitar 101 best I could. At that point, we had Bob Dylan and early Donovan, people like that coming in. I was very interested in folk picking with the fingers, finger picking.
Yeah.
So I had that for a little while, and then just before we left for the UK, I went into Sacramento with that guitar, thinking I'd better get a better one. So I went to the pawn shop, and he had these guitars on the wall, and they had prices. And I said, well, I'll get that one. And he said, I'll give it to you for $65 with a case, but and in trade for your nameless guitar. It was a 1956 Martin D28. Today, it's probably worth about 20 grand. And that's what I went to Britain with, not knowing what it was.
Right. Okay. So the one you got, you're saying, the one you got was that was the one that was the Martin.
That's the one that I went to Britain with. I no longer have it, but that's a sad story.
No, that was one that was stolen or something. Or
no.
you burned it on stage.
It was my own fault. I sold it off.
Yeah, it happens. One of those things.
I sold it off to join an electric band that was within the record company made up of employees. So they were having a bit of a lark. I didn't have any electrical equipment, so I sold the guitar to a bluegrass fellow from Newcastle for, I think it was about 800 pounds. And with that, I bought all kinds of equipment, PV amp, a Gibson SG guitar, another Gibson J50, acoustic to take the place of the missing Martin, a Fender Jazz bass,
wow,
and a whole bunch of other stuff, anyway, just for the price of that guitar. But the band, dare I say what we called ourselves?
What? Tell me.
Split Beaver.
Split Beavers, okay.
I know that's another ambiguity.
Yeah, okay.
But perhaps tasteless. It lasted about 3 or 4 weeks and dissolved. And there I was with all this equipment.
You split up.
We split up, quite so.
The Split Beavers split up.
Boy, did we split up. We parted ways. And I only had a Gibson J50 acoustic because the rest of the stuff meant nothing to me then. So I sold it all back off. Never did like the Gibson. Eventually, I sold it off and picked up the Martin that I've got now, which is much newer and nothing like that pre-69 one I used to have.
That's a Martin you've got. I'm looking at a Martin over there. Wow. How cool.
Very cool.
Where else have you traveled to, Lon? You said Germany. You've been there for a while.
Yes. Well, being in the record business over there, which I was, I'd have to start and tell you how I got there.
Yeah, tell us. We got 5 minutes till break, and the break is just going to take a minute.
Okay, I'll be very fast. When I got there, I went to the university with my friend that I mentioned. My friend's name was Ivan, and he started his course. I went to the folk club there. There were people who had guitars and were playing folk music. Very interesting. They said I should go to London. That's where the action was, which is probably about 200 miles down the road. I used to hitchhike every weekend down to London and I'd come back, and then down to London and come back because I took English and American literature course, signed up for it, did not take it seriously. And then I eventually went down to London and did not come back.
Oh, wow.
And stayed down there, and I met a folk singer called Roy Harper, who is hugely popular still at age 84 in Europe, is well known here. But
Steve
not
Harper.
Anything. Roy Harper isn't known here anything like he is in Europe. Stayed with him, got inspired by him. He let me design his first LP cover, play on a couple of his first tracks, and then I was suddenly a folk singer.
Wow, how cool!
With a terrible voice.
Well, you're still holding true to those colors because you do sing. I would say if anybody's a folk singer in town, it's you.
But the thing is, I was picked up by a social worker called Judith Piepe. She would hang around the clubs and pick up people who she felt she could put on the right track if their life was going astray, or if she could find some way of improving what they do, then she would. And she was very honest in that. I was only about 3 months behind Paul Simon, who she had also picked up
Really?
in '65. So I was given a bed in her place. There were 6 or 8 other people in a little dorm that she had. And then she said eventually, I think she was German.
Yeah.
She said, I think I have what you need to do, and you need to run the folk club, which will open in the St. Martin's in the Crypt in Trafalgar Square. You will run that for me. I will have the priest who's just got his new parish, and he will run it. He will come in and he will interview you. She sent this priest in to see me, who was extremely gay, and he said, oh, you're exactly what I need. Yes, you should be running my folk club. Oh, I love the way you said this, and now you picked this little thing that you just did. And so I said to Judith, I don't think so. This is not what I need to do. I have this idea, since I used to be able to draw caricatures, of buying the music papers, which come out every week, and I will draw pictures of those people who are photographed, those famous pop stars, and I will go to each of the offices and see if I can get hired doing cartoons for them.
Yeah.
So then she said, well, I think someone else can use your bed.
Wow.
And so I had to go. And I did go around to the papers. I was hired by Record Mirror, and I eventually became a staff writer and a pop journalist.
Dang.
So this is what I've heard. I've heard you were out there journaling a lot of things, checking it. You got to see a lot of acts. You got to a lot of...
It was a party. It was a play,
party.
and I was a character in this crazy play.
What year was that you got that job?
From '66 onwards.
My goodness.
So every night was a concert of some sort or a party of some sort. Every day or evening there was a reception for somebody. Every afternoon we were in the pub, which was, of course, the lifeline of all information.
Yeah.
All the pubs were the circulatory
internet
system
of the
of
day.
information.
Yeah.
The internet.
So we're always in the pub, and then it was party. Home at 2 a.m. Didn't have to be in the office till another 10:30 or so, and another day begins.
Wow. Do you have all these drawings still to this day?
I have a number of them. When I first got the position as a staffer, the editor said, is there anyone you want to send a subscription to? And I said, yes, send one to my folks in Elk Grove near Sacramento, which he did. They kept them all.
Oh,
So I've got
nice.
all 300 issues.
So you're just talented. You can't. Oh, all
Is that where you were
300
kind of?
issues?
Yeah.
Was that where you were kind of based as a kid in Elk Grove? I have some friends in Elk Grove.
That's where I
is now like,
graduated from school.
it's like 400,000 people now. It's so huge. It's massive.
It was a tiny thing where
Yeah,
the
it was-
roads were unpaved.
Wow. It is so massive. I have good friends there in Elk Grove, and I go down there and I just get lost.
So
All
you
right.
don't have. So you don't have any classes in art. You are just talented. Is that?
I haven't
have the
gotten
eye
any
for it.
training. Well, I was an average student, so I haven't gotten any training.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
But I am in a class by myself, you know.
That's for sure. That's
I mean,
right.
there are professionals, semi-professionals, amateurs, and then there's me.
Yeah.
Listen,
that's pretty
you've
cool.
been on our radar for a year, and I'm glad you finally came in here on our anniversary date.
Yeah.
Special time here. We're having a conversation with Lon Goddard. It is at mid-break time, and we are through the. Oh, am I a couple minutes early?
You're a minute early.
I am a whole. Well, I'm just going to go right in. I'm going to plow through this.
Okay.
Okay, we're almost at that halfway mark of this edition of Doc and Jacques on our anniversary special. You are tuned into KCIW 100.7 FM in Brookings, Oregon. We are proudly a non-commercial community radio station, and as I say each week, regardless if you sing, you do have a voice, and that is what a community radio station like KCIW 100.7 does best for its caring family, and you could become a part of that family. You really can. Gigi and I did. Thank the universe for all the people that we were in touch with, and that we have landed this unique position that we find ourselves in, and get to interview such fascinating characters such as Lon Goddard. And today, folks, you could reach out and become part of that family too. Get out, get involved. You could contribute. You could donate your time. You could donate your money. For any amount is welcome here. We are a 501c3 nonprofit radio station. And if you'd like to find out more, please visit us at kciw.org and find out more about it. We're back in the studio with Lon Goddard, who is telling us some fascinating stories. We knew you were a conversant guy. We knew you were an interesting guy. And boy, are we ever in for a treat here today with hearing some of these stories. Gigi, you have any more questions you wanted to tie up?
Yeah. Well, not. Yeah. Well, before we started the show, we talked a tiny bit, and I want to know, generally, have you ever met or played with any famous folks?
Only Roy Harper, I'd say no.
Well, you met.
I haven't.
Well, you met like
Wait, Dire Straits. You have
Dire
No.
Straits. No.
Well, you see, at that point, I was a journalist. so I wasn't playing.
not playing, but you met him. As
I was either a journalist or I
see.
was a PR. I switched back and forth between those two things. I either was working on a newspaper or I was working for a record company. On the newspaper, I would interview people, and for the record company, I would make sure that people like the former me interviewed the stars that I represented.
How cool.
So who did
So
you
the
interview?
guitar was much in the background.
So who did you interview or who did you meet that was somebody that we would or I would know?
It's more of a case of if you mention somebody,
Then
that's easier.
Oh,
A lot of people came through.
yeah.
A lot of people.
So any of the Stones?
All of them except Brian Jones.
Oh, wow.
I was a little too late for that by days.
Wow. Where he drowned. Yeah, I have to rethink this whole thing about the health and exercise since Keith Richards has outlived Richard Simmons. So I got to really rethink this exercise regimen.
As I
the
did Keith
Stones,
Richards.
Yeah,
He's a very together person who has an image and will very quickly tell you that he's absolutely clean of substances, which he is and has been for 20 years.
Yes.
But he said, I've got an image and I've got to keep it up. I'm Keith.
right. Exactly. How fun. Any of the Beatles?
I did not see John Lennon, but the other three, yes.
Interesting. Okay.
Wow.
Two of them are still
How about
alive.
Pink Floyd?
I spent a longest time with George Harrison in a small booth in Apple Records where he played the White Album and went through every track on it and explained everything about it. So that was rather a long period with him.
Right. So
How about Supertramp?
No, you got me there.
England?
I wasn't really fond of bands of that nature, so I didn't
weren't they a
really
little
opt
bit
for
later?
them.
They were a little bit later anyways. That's more your age. She's only, she says 29, 24, whatever. Wow. This is, you should be interviewing us, I suppose.
Okay, now let's see. Where were you born, Jacques? What is this French thing that you...
Yeah. I just always defer off to the German. Hallo, wie geht es dir? Mein Name ist Jacques. Wie heißt du? All right, Doc, give me a question. Give him a question.
Okay. Tell us about songwriting. Do you write your own songs?
Well, funny you should ask that. I've written hundreds of songs, but I can't read music, so I don't know what they are.
Oh, that was one of our questions.
Yeah.
I often turn on the radio and think, I might have written that.
Darn it. That's one that got away.
Most of my songs didn't make my own grade, so they wound up in piles. And the one song that I finally felt did, which you aren't allowed to do here because it contains the word beep and the other word
Yes,
beep, beep.
yes.
So we're not going to be playing that one.
No.
But I thought that one passed muster, and people do request it.
Yes, we liked it. But because of its has those couple of swear words in it, we can't do it. And I'm like, the engineer's looking at me right now. He's lowered his glasses. Everything's good.
So okay, so you sort of write the music, but you also sort of write the lyrics, right?
Yes, I have piles and piles of lyrics as well.
Okay.
And I can read, so those haven't been lost.
Oh, I thought you said you can't read. But
can't
said
read.
You can't read. We ask every musician, do you read music? You'd be surprised. I'd say 70% say no.
They can't.
70% of the artists that we've had in here, musicians.
Now, do you
I
have something called synesthesia that you, for example, that you hear a sound or an intonation and then you see colors or a movement or anything of the like? No, you don't. Okay.
Okay. That was strange to me, too.
I'm not sure I understand
If she sees the color orange, she sees the number 24. She sees the number 93, she sees black. She sees it's really bizarre. It's just something.
It's totally normal for me.
Yeah.
We had somebody here.
Einstein had it.
Dan Sedgwick. He sees if something is an E flat, then he sees the brownish or something. And I thought that is really weird. But now I'm thinking that's probably what you guys think about me seeing, 24 and
That's
Orange.
weird. We thought it was weird.
If you don't have it, it seems weird.
All right, you have been a part of the Brookings scene now since '92, since you arrived. Did you start picking up and start playing in these pubs and bars and restaurants here in town in '92, or is this something that evolved slower?
I was essentially in the theater when I got here first.
So you're a big part of
A friend of mine, Tom Jones, who runs the Brookings Signs and Graphics here, was one of the first people that I met when I came to town, because we had graphics in common since I was a cartoonist.
Yeah.
And he said, there's a place in town here that's got a whole batch of weirdos. You belong with them. And so he introduced me to the Chetco Pelican Players.
They were around
that's-
back then, huh? I
Yeah,
didn't know
that's
they were
where I
there.
met you for the first time at the Cinderella.
They were,
play.
yes. I'm probably number 4 on longest standing members still alive.
Wow, how cool is that? Well, good, and you look good. You look good. You sound good. So you started playing and the venue, and then, I mean, how many places do you play at every year? You're like the iconic figure, right? Do you stand out? You got a good look. You got a good verb to you. You sing. You
Voice.
tell your stories. You play guitar.
Funny.
And he's always wearing his unique hat. We're not wearing it today in the studio because we're wearing earphones. But what is your favorite? What was your favorite place you ever played that's no longer here in Brookings?
Oh, that's no longer here.
Yeah, I've only been here 4 years, so I don't know. That's a surprise.
Thinks
question.
back.
Do I know that it's not here anymore? I mean, COVID took a lot of places out, right?
I think all the places that I played are still here.
Okay.
At least, well, the favorites are still here.
All right.
I'm sure there are ones that have gone by the wayside, but I can't remember what they are because the ones that exist here surpassed them.
What are your favorite local places? Like,
Oh, I love to play the Coon Tie and Misty Mountain.
why? Because
They have been supporting me for a long time, and I love them both very much. And I like to play jambalaya down in Crescent City, Tortuga up in Gold Beach. I do like to get around. And
we didn't know you played jambalaya. I had
Just right there.
Michael and Jen Schmidt on my show down in.
yeah, I have one. I believe I heard of that.
Yeah.
I'm doing that next month again.
Okay, so
We'll come down.
So yeah, come on. We will come down. Now, where are you playing in the next few weeks? Do you have anything lined up?
I'll be doing the Elks Lodge on Friday.
Which one? Here?
This one here,
Okay.
Elks
Brookings,
1939, I believe it is.
I thought 34.
34, thank you. That was a good year.
I think.
And then I'll be doing the Coon Tie on Wednesday.
So are you
then
stable at Kuntai? That's where I saw you last week.
I
That was
still
so
do that.
good.
And then I believe Misty comes up on the 25th. So I do a lot for assisted living facilities.
Really?
I play for the dementia wards because
wow.
in that way I can play songs like Me and My Gal, Bicycle Bill for Two, You Are My Sunshine, and things like that, which really put some sparkle in people's eyes.
Yes, music is very
So
helpful
I
in
do
those.
more of that than you could imagine. I've got 15 or 20. I've got 15 dates this month for certain,
Whoa.
Wow.
and a great batch of those are for the memory wards.
Right. You're volunteering for that. You just do that for the love of it, and yeah, that's cool.
Very
It's a
nice,
good thing
very
to
cool.
do.
Yeah, it is a good thing to do. Yeah, true. And then we, let's see, you're up in, where do you play? Tortuga? You said that's coming up?
I played that just last week
At the Tortuga?
at the Tortuga Mexican restaurant.
Right, which
So-
we have seen, but never been in there.
So where can people find out where you play so they can get their schedule ready? Where do
Oh,
you
I'm
have-
solidly on Facebook and by email, but mostly Facebook is where everything is traded.
Lon Goddard. Now, tell us about your wife, Claire.
Under my own
How
name.
long have you and Claire been together? Did you meet?
Well, she's not my significant other half.
Yes, in part.
She's my lady, my roadie, my sound equipment lady. She's my driver.
There you go.
She's my
Everything.
she's my life's blood, actually.
Nice.
Without her, I crumble. You see, like a vampire in the sunlight. I'm finished.
Go,
I
Clara.
remember last week at Kuntai, we were talking afterwards, and in the background there was Claire picking up all your equipment, and putting everything away while you were out chatting it up.
Yes, she's very kind in letting me do that. I set up, and then I do the gig, and then afterwards she lets me talk to people while she cleans up.
Right on.
Do you also do private events?
Sure, when people ask for it.
Also
I've
on
done quite a lot of them. I'm fine with birthdays, weddings, parties, whatever. I can usually switch around the songs to match what the event requires.
Yeah.
Do you still do the second Saturdays? That's, I think, I first
I
met
still
you.
do the art walk. Second Saturday art walk.
The
Yes,
second
it is.
Saturday. That's where I believe I
I'll
met
be
you.
at Kim Devine's Kim's Garden Party.
Up on the hill there a little bit.
This upcoming one.
Well, maybe if we're in town, we will come by because we've been, Kim's been on the show. And that's where I think I first met you. I think you first came on my radar about 4 years ago, and I believe you were playing at, it could have been, was it Scott? It was another one back. It was cool.
was-
And we walked to the small room, and there you were.
Oh, when we went, it was...
Yeah, no, this was before I met him.
And I trade off with Steve Nelson in doing the Democratic headquarters for the art walk as well.
No, really?
It's his stint this time, and then I'm on right after we find out what happens in November.
Yeah, everything's putting hold on that. Let's hope that everything will come out nice. Are you busier in the summer months, obviously?
Yeah.
Maybe?
Yep.
Yeah. This is kind of
Yep.
entering the...
I get
During the rainy
things down at
season.
the port and outdoor events in the summer, which is great.
Yeah.
Right. Do you get better with age?
Did I, pardon?
Did you
Get
get better
better?
with age? Have you gotten better with age? Have you gotten, I said the word.
Well, I've become wobblier. In lots of ways, yes. In lots of ways, I've passed through phases of playing and types of music that I was fascinated by. I've kind of run the gamut, and there are things I might have missed along the way that I find more interesting than I did prior. So
Yeah.
I'd say I've just changed rather than getting better. I'm probably
that's a good way.
slicker, a little slicker. at it.
A slicker. Well, you are, like I said, an iconic figure in our region. Everybody knows your name. You're super talented. You're quite a character, quite an interesting fellow that's been around.
I have a lot of saliva.
We all do. Two swimming pools full.
swimming pools,
All right, if you want to start getting ready, you're going to
Yeah,
play
we
some
would
songs
love to
for
hear
us. We'd like to hear
something.
that. And if we have time after you've sang a couple songs and talked about them, then we can come back. We have more questions for you. Folks, we've been interviewing Lon Goddard, extraordinarily talented artist here in our region that has done so many things and is such a fascinating person. Yeah, he's going to sing a song. And what's that song going to be today, Lon?
I'll start with one, since we have to be copyright free.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
I thought I'd start with one that a lot of people may remember from their youth called My Grandfather's Clock.
My Grandfather's
Grandfather's
Clock
Clock.
by Lon Goddard, and it's copyright free. Okay, good.
Let's get this right. Now my grandfather's clock was too tall for the shelf, so it stayed 90 years on the floor. It was taller by half than the old man himself, though it weighed not a penny, weighed more. It was bought on the morn of the day that he was born, and was always his treasure and pride. But it stopped short, never to go again when the old man died. Now my grandfather said that of those he could hire, not a servant so faithful he found, for it wanted nothing, just time to be wound. And he stayed in his place, not a frown upon its face, and its hands never hung by its side. But it stopped short, never to go again when the old man died. Then it rang an alarm In the dead of the night, an alarm that for years had been dumb. And it's clear that his spirit was plumbing for flight, and the hour of departure had come. Still that clock kept the time with this soft and muffled chime as we solemnly stood by his side. Then it stopped short, never to go again when the old man died. Yes, it stopped short, never to go again when the old man died.
Tick tock, tick tock.
Yay!
There was a bum note in there.
That's
Oh, you heard a bum note in there, I'm telling you.
Okay. It was not a bum. It's
Bum
fine.
note
It
in
sounded
there.
beautiful. I love that song. It's
Did you know that one? Did you?
I've heard it several times before in my life.
Really?
I've heard of it. It makes me
I
sad.
thought it might ring a bell or two.
Yeah, there we go. A ringing on the bell. Bing, 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 dong, dong, dong. It's emotional, so it's one of those memorable ones that I like.
Oddly enough, it goes down very well in the assisted living places too. Even though it refers to the old man dying,
Yeah.
Yes.
those folks aren't particularly worried about that.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
It's
good
They
for
love
them.
the song.
Good for
They
them.
remember it.
That's
Good for
cool.
them. All right.
Very
What
nice.
else we got now?
We have a little song called "The Fox," which is a little livelier, but
That's when I called her the first time I saw her.
it's about a fox. What more can I say?
Lon Goddard here at the KCAW studio.
Now the fox went out on a chilly night. He prayed for the moon to give him light. He had many a mile to go that night before he reached the town. Oh, town, oh, town, oh. He had many a mile to go that night before he reached the town. Oh. So he run till he come to a great big bend. The ducks and the geese were kept therein. He said, a couple of you were gonna grease my chin before I leave this town. Oh, town, oh, town, oh. Well, a couple of you were gonna grease my chin before I leave this town. Oh. So he grabbed the great goose by the neck and he slung the duck across his back. And he didn't mind the quack, 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 or the legs all dangling down, oh, down, oh, down, oh. Well, he didn't mind the quack, 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 or the legs all dangling down, oh. Now the old girl jumped up off the bed and out the window she popped her head. She said, John, John, the goose is gone, the fox is on the town. Oh, town, oh, town, oh. Well, John, John, the goose is gone, the fox is on the town. Oh. So Johnny run up atop the hill and he blowed his horn both loud and shrill. The fox said, I'd better run like hell. They'll all be on my tail, oh, tail, oh, tail, oh. Well, the fox said, I'd better run like hell. They'll all be on my tail, oh. So we run till he come to his cozy den, and there was the little ones 8, 9, 10, saying, Daddy, you ought to go back again. It must be a real fine town, oh, town, oh, town, oh. Well, Daddy, you ought to go back again. It must be a real fine town, oh. And then the fox and his wife, without no strife, they cut up the goose with a fork and knife. They never had such a feed in their life. and the little ones chewed on a bones, oh, bones, oh, bones, oh. Well, they never had such a feed in their life. The little ones chewed on the bones, oh, chewing on the bones, oh, chewing on the bones, oh, chewing on the bones, oh. Well, they're chewing on the bones. Chewing on them bones. Yeah, the fox went out on a chilly night. He prayed for the moon to give him light. He had many a mile to go that night before he reached the town. Oh, town, oh, town, oh. He had many a mile to go that night before he reached the town. Oh, he had many a mile to go that night before he reached the town.
All right.
Lon
Very
Goddard, what a
fun.
trip, what a fun. I've never heard that song before. Before-o. Never heard it before-o. Wow.
Before-o.
Before-o, before 1-0. 4-1-0.
Yeah, it's a foxy one.
That foxy one. Now we have, if you want, a third
another
one or
one?
not. If it's entirely.
Yeah,
I'll do one more.
yeah.
All right, let's do one.
Why not
hear
the
it.
ubiquitous House of the Rising Sun?
Okay, there it
right.
is.
Do you believe
No,
that that was on here just a little bit ago?
Yes,
I do it a little differently.
All right.
Yeah, let's
House
hear
of the
it.
Rising
Right.
Sun, Lon
Shall we?
Goddard here in case.
There we go then. Now there is a house down in New Orleans that they call the Rising Sun, and it's been the ruin of many a poor boy, and Lord, I know 'cause I'm one. My mama, she worked for a tailor man. She sewed all my new blue jeans. My daddy, he was a gambling boy in the town of old New Orleans. Now the only thing that a gambler needs is a suitcase and a trunk. The only time that he's ever satisfied is when he's on a drunk. So mama, tell your children not to do what I have done, and spend your life in misery in the house of the rising sun. Now, boys, fill up your glasses, fill them up to the brim, and raise them high to a poor gambling boy, and be glad that you ain't him.
Very impressive. Jeez.
Very
all those
impressive.
little-
Nice
Thank you.
twist to that song.
Very nice.
You've been listening to Lon Goddard here on the Jacques and Jacques
MG.
Radio Variety Show here in Brookings, Oregon. Lon, where do you see yourself in a couple of years from now? Here in the area. You're not going anywhere, right?
Stumbling, I suppose.
Stumbling from
Stumbling down the road.
the Misty Mountain to the Chetco Brewery and back, yes.
I do hope to get back to Europe regularly.
Yeah, no, you just got back
I've
from
been
a trip
doing
to
that.
England. And,
Last 3 years, I were intended to go again in May.
right.
I seem to have this feeling that I culturally have an affinity for the place. So it's like going home, really.
Have you been to Scarborough, up on the coast of England? It's about 4 hours.
I have been there, yes.
Yeah, we were looking at the.
There's not a place in England that I pretty much haven't been
Yeah.
because of all the time there.
I hear you, man. England is such a trip, such a wonderful place, and it's good that you're traveling. And we followed you on Facebook. You've been listening to Lon Goddard here, who is just so interesting. Why don't you one day write a book?
That I have in mind.
Good.
I've been hounded by people to do that
Do it.
for a long time, and I tell them that when my hearing finally goes, because it's not the best now, then I will be forced to.
Yeah.
Right on. Well, we wish you the best. We look
Very
forward to your
impressive. It
times
was very awesome.
around town. Everybody
Yes.
could find. All you need to ask is about anybody where Lon Goddard is, and people know what you're up to, and for good reasons. Here,
Thank you very much, Jacques and Gigi, for having me on the
talented.
program.
Thank you,
Yeah,
sir. All
yeah.
right. Okay, what time is it, Doctor? It is
Fun
time corner. We got about 3 minutes of
Yeah.
just a couple of great jokes.
Yeah.
Okay, quotes.
Okay.
All right, what do you got? What do you got for us?
Life can only be understood backwards, but it must be lived forward.
Well, that's a famous. I've heard that one. Give us another one.
Yes, sir.
Wasn't Saliva that astrologer down there in Garcada? Saliva Rain, wasn't that her?
All right, Doc. Give us another quote.
All right. Time spent in self-reflection is never wasted. It is like going on an intimate date with yourself.
Yeah, that's by the Dr. Wong, I think, Peter Wong. Or
Well,
something like that.
Paul Wong.
Hey, Doc, today I asked my phone, I said, Siri, why am I still single? And it activated the self-facing camera. Hey, when I told my date that I worked with animals, she found it really sweet.
Yeah.
And she asked me more about my job. And I told her I was a butcher. My dog used to chase people on bikes a lot.
Yeah.
I got so bad that I finally had to take his bike away.
That reminds me. I bought some spot remover and poured it on my dog. Now he's gone.
Now he's gone. Poor Spot's gone. All right, what do you got there, Doc? Another one for us?
It is not so much about who you used to be as it is about who you choose to be.
Oh, okay, one more.
You're always with yourself, so you might as well enjoy the company.
There you go. Hey, what do you call fake dad?
What?
A faux pas. Today at the bank, an old lady asked me to help check her balance.
Yeah?
So I pushed her over. Why do chicken coops have 2 doors?
Why?
Because if they had 4 doors, they'd be chicken sedans. Coops and sedans. Oh, okay. Give us another one.
Dwell not on the faults and shortcomings of others. Instead, seek clarity about your own.
Not
Buddha.
bad. Okay, what's
Right.
the Buddha one? I like the
Okay,
Buddha.
that's the Buddha one.
Oh, okay, that was it. Okay.
Okay, one more joke,
I
then we're
was
done.
sitting in traffic the other day. It's probably why I got run over. Hey, why do scuba divers fall backwards instead of off a boat?
Why?
Because if they fell forward, they'd fall into the boat. Okay, enough.
All right. You
Thanks.
have been, everybody, thank you for listening. You have been listening to Doc and Jacques on KCIW.
Our 1-year anniversary, yeah.
100.7 FM in Brookings, Oregon, on our 1-year anniversary of the show. We hope you have enjoyed the show as much as we have, and our interaction with Lon Goddard and his
Goddard,
music.
thanks.
I very much enjoyed my time.
Yeah. It's so good. We had a great time. Thank you, folks.
Yes, thank
Peace and
you.
love to you all. We have some great guests next week. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.